the very first time that I'm gonna be doing this. And thankfully, I do have my glasses with me, and what I'm gonna be doing for this stream slash video by like tomorrow is I'm gonna be going through everything that I've done so far for Five Nights at Ben's, starting with the first game all the way up to the last game that I actually did before I stopped doing paperwork during the pandemic. Starting with the first game, and I think I mentioned this in a previous stream, but first up on the stage for the first location are the first three animatronics that are canon to the story. We have Ben Fox, Wolfie the Wolf, and Scarlet the Cheetah. Each one being just your typical Freddy, Bonnie, and... well, actually, BJT Comics, it's not all the way up from 2019 to 2022. I think I stopped in 2020. As I was saying, those three are your typical Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica that you have for every FNAF fan game, or canon game in particular, with Ben Fox over here being the main mascot of the series, hence the name Five Nights at Ben's. A little fun fact. Little fun fact for Scarlet is that aside from being the very first cheetah animatronic, she was actually inspired by a fictional character I created. I don't have, well, her design physically, but back in the day, I made a made-up story of mine called The Adventures of Portal Master Benjamin, to kind of get the feel for the Beniverse, per se. And Scarlet was actually the cheetah of that story, who was a former assassin hired by, I think it was one of the characters from My Little Pony, probably Princess Celestia, but I don't know My Little Pony. Anyways, she was hired to kill Portal Master Benjamin, but instead was Uno reversed into joining up with the Skylanders. So basically, Scarlet the Cheetah is a reference to that story. As for the other animatronics here, we have Sharky the Shark, your typical Foxy the Pirate, having his own location in Adventure Zone or Adventure Cove, whichever one it was going to be called. Golden Ben is basically a golden version of Ben Fazfox that would start in parts and service. And then there was Reversed Mangle, like I mentioned in a previous stream. Mangle has the mouth that goes nom nom nom. Reverse Mangle does the opposite. Now, she has her own area in the prize zone, and that's the last of the canon animatronics for the very first game, since all of them would have a start pattern in their corresponding areas and then finish their attacking pattern in the office. Next, we move on to Five Nights at Ben's 2. And obviously you have Toy Ben, Toy Scarlet, and Toy Wolfie being your typical toy animatronics. And then you obviously have Golden Ben's endoskeleton, because obviously endoskeletons need to have some love. And then we have Ultramaster, who I mentioned as this series version of the puppet, which is likely not going to happen. And then we have Triger, our first building toy tiger animatronic. And then we have the humanoid animatronics, Glitter Girl, Casey, and BB. Terrible names, I know. Next up is the four withered animatronics of Ben, Scarlet, Wolfie, and Sharky. Obviously, typical withered animatronics. And then, of course, you have your two Shadows and Toy Sharky. All of the ones here for FNAB 2, alongside Golden Ben, of course, every single one of them, except for Toy Sharky, mirrors the animatronic roster for FNAF 2, except for Toy Sharky. The only one that does not have a canon representative. I'll explain the reason why in a potential second episode of this new series, if it gets enough likes to be a series. Next up is Five Nights at Ben's 3. We have Spring Wolfie, your typical single animatronic that would kill you for the third game. Well, except for most third fan games where there would be more than one coming after you. But anyways. And then, of course, you have Phantom Ben, Phantom Scarlet, Phantom Sharky, Phantom Ultramaster, Phantom Triger, and lastly, Phantom Glitter Girl. Your typical Phantoms. And that's it for the first 3 games. Oh, shoot. I almost forgot about Phantom Casey before we move on to the Five Nights at Ben's 4 location. Apparently it would be a alternate form or Connor, you shush. Basically, Casey would have been something better, and it's actually the second time that there is no mirrored. Actually, third, because Reversed Mangled from Five Nights at Ben's 1 does not have any representative from FNAF 1 or the typical first game. And then Toy Sharky doesn't represent anyone from the second game. So yeah, moving on to the Five Nights at Ben's 4. Now I split it into 2 parts, apparently. The first part here is your typical Five Nights at Ben's, well, your typical Nightmare animatronics. Nightmare Ben, Nightmare Scarlet, Nightmare Wolfie, Nightmare Sharky, Phantom, Nightmare Ben Fox, and Plush Wolf. Just the typical Nightmare animatronics. Whereas this last one here, Nightmare Golden Ben's endoskeleton, that is actually original. Well, at least it was up until there was a Nightmare endoskeleton for, I think, Help Wanted. And then we move on to the Halloween edition, where Nightmare Scarlet, Nightmare Wolfie both get replaced with Jacko Scarlet and Jacko Wolfie. Nightmare Sharky is replaced with Nightmare Trigger. Phantom is replaced with Nightmare Ultramaster. And then, obviously, Plush Wolf is replaced by Nightmare Glitter Girl. And then Jacko or Nightmare Sharky is basically an add-on, I think. And then we move to the 5th game, and I've explained Funtime Ben in a previous live stream, but Funtime Sharky is supposed to be your Foxy of this series, in this case for brother location, because obviously there's no such thing as a brother location. Funtime Sharky is your typical Foxy animatronic. Anyways, moving on. My Mine, terrible name. That is supposed to be Circus Baby's look-alike. And then Karada. I guess it was supposed to be for representing Ballora. And then Wolfie, Wolfette, I explained in a previous live stream. Doyen, I didn't get to because obviously that's Yendo spelled in reverse. And there's still more, obviously, because I didn't stop there. Apparently there's many Karatas, Bab Biddies, and Electro Biddies. And then Darny, Biddle. But the Twisted Fox and Twisted Wolf combo, that is definitely original and version exclusive. And then moving on to Five Nights at Ben's 6. Apparently, the canon animatronics here are Molten Ben, Scrap Wolf, Scrap My Mind, Righty, Rockstar Ben, Rockstar Scarlet, Rockstar Wolfie, Rockstar Sharky, and Withered Funtime Foxy. Moving on to Ultimate Custom Night, because unlike FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, FNAB Ultimate Custom Night would have basically been every single animatronic from the first 6 games all together. And who I added in as the newcomers are Funtime Scarlet, Beatboxer, Elmonk, Golden Foxy, Spring Chica, Golden Bonnie, Funtime Wolfie, and Spring Freddy. And I can definitely see, I don't know if you can, but there's a Molten Ben here. I'm sorry, Molten Bonnie. I do not know why. And then, of course, the next page is Ben Fox's Fright. We already went over that. Oh, and here's a better detailed look at everything for the first 4 games, because obviously the first night of Five Nights at Ben's 1 would have featured Ben Faz Fox, Wolfie the Wolf, Scarlet the Cheetah, Twisted Ben, Twisted Scarlet, Shadow Foxy, and Jake the Dog Fox. I do not want to go over the last one, but for the 4 twisted animatronics of Ben, Scarlet, Wolfie, and Sharky, in the first game alone, they are very unique, to where for the first 4 nights, Twisted Ben and Twisted Scarlet are active on night 1 and night 3, while Twisted Wolfie and Twisted Sharky, who start out at night 2, will be available for night 2 and night 4. Shadow Foxy and Shadow Chica, they're basically shadow animatronics from previous games, but I don't want to go into too much detail about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sharky doesn't get introduced into the game till about night 3. Golden Ben and Golden Jake first come by night 4. Reversed Mangle doesn't start till night 5. And then night 6, aka the custom night, everyone's active. And fun fact before we move on to Five Nights at Ben's 2 again, if you get jump scared by Twisted Ben, Twisted Scarlet, Twisted Wolfie, or Twisted Sharky, the original intention was for a rare set of voice lines to be programmed saying, oh, how you won't be able to win, and there is nothing that you can do to beat the game, and yada yada. Anyways, out of all of the animatronics here for the second game, the oddballs here are Withered Toy Freddy, Withered Toy Bonnie, Withered Toy Chica. Soul Fox, this might be about 30-40 minutes long. I don't know. Anyways, Withered Jake, Golden Jake, Toy Jake, Withered Puppet, Withered Balloon Boy, and Withered JJ. Basically, from what I can remember, I wanted a proper explanation for why there's withered versions of the FNAF 2 animatronics present in a Five Nights at Ben's game. And that reason is because in Five Nights at Ben, well, in FNAF 2, it was explained that the toy animatronics were decommissioned. Makes sense, right? Well, no, obviously, because from what I wrote here, they would have been back, but in withered forms. Moving on to the third game. The oddballs here are Twisted Jake, Spring Jake, Phantom Jake, Phantom Bonnie, Phantom Toy Freddy, Phantom Toy Bonnie, Phantom Toy Chica. True. Basically, most of the Phantoms here are just double dead animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's. With Phantom Bonnie being original, along with the Phantom Toy animatronics and Phantom Golden Ben. Five Nights at Ben's 4, it looks like... Oh, there was going to be more than just what I mentioned already. We have Phantom Toy Wolfie, Twisted Toy Bonnie, well, Nightmare Toy Wolfie, and Twisted Toy Bonnie. Nightmare Toy Scarlet, Nightmare Toy Ben, Twisted Toy Freddy, Nightmare Jake. I just decided on doing this tonight because I felt like it. Let me see, who else? Pretty much some of these are original, but I don't know, because for the most part, of course everyone loves the originals. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump straight into see if I can find it. I think I have a here we go. I found the paper of the non-canon ones. I've already talked about the first three, so we're gonna skip that. Sorry about the wrestling. I'm just getting things situated here in the background. Maybe one day I'll do a live about the Afton family. Maybe. But anyways, let me see. Oh, Nightmare Springtrap. Whew, that one intended on being a doozy. For players, I mean. Because William Afton will always come back. And apparently he would have come back as Springtrap in the nightmare form. Terrifying, I know. And then, of course, I have Jacko Fredbear and Jacko Mangle. I think I remember what their original intentions were. Well, exactly. This series was supposed to be the scariest out of every single FNAF fan game and canon game. But I lost interest around the pandemic. If I remember correctly, I wrote Jacko Freddy and Jacko Foxy. But unfortunately, I changed these around the time that Help Wanted had a Halloween DLC. And then, of course, Jacko Trap would have been a Nightmare Springtrap, but in Jacko form. Anyways, skipping over the Molten Foxy and the Molten Chica and the 3 Jakes here, we have Withered Lefty. That would have... I never figured this out, but how do you go live? Ah, it's simple. If you're doing it mobily, you can hit the plus button, and that will pull up a menu saying go live, make a short, or upload a video. And you just hit the go live button, and that would take you to another menu where you can set up another live stream or as many as you want. But PC, I haven't figured it out because obviously I don't own one. Anyways, Rockstar Creationoid. That one would have been a hybrid of all 4 Rockstar animatronics. What's the problem? Anyways, Mediocre Melody is a hybrid of all of the mediocre animatronics, I think. And then for Brother Location, there would have been withered versions of the Funtime animatronics. But, of course, that would never happen, right? Oh, wait. I know an example. And that is Baby's Nightmare Circus. Oh yeah, and what you're looking at right now is no, you don't do it with your phone number. If you're on a device like a phone, you can actually what was I gonna say? You can actually go live through your phone if you have a certain amount of subscribers. I think around 70 or 80. I forget which. But anyways, Five Nights at Ben's Ultra Mode. That would have been consisting of then you should be able to live stream mobily if you have 144. Anyways, from what I can see here, it would have consisted of pretty much every animatronic that I've already talked about. Every Ben Fazfox model, every Scarlet the Cheetah model. Alright, I'll let you go. Every Wolfie the Wolf model, every Sharky the Pirate Shark model, every Jake the Dog Fox model. But it would have added in some new characters, like I think I'll probably get sued by Sega for this, but Really? It didn't request for a phone number for me. Anyways, Sega might come after me for this, but apparently there was intentions for Sally Acorn and Fiona the Fox as animatronics. I think I took inspiration from the Five Nights at Sonic's series. I don't remember. But, of course, there's also Fangle, Volt the Lion, Flare the Tiger, Flame the Wolf. Just throwing in a few extra animatronics. And apparently this game was also going to have a DLC mode with some unreleased characters, along with the main antagonist, Connor the plush cat. I'm surprised Connor Does Stuff isn't in the chat right now. And then there's a bit of this. It's just some more paperwork for the Ultra Mode game. Oh, I'm 18 years old, turning 19 in the next 2 months. Jeez, I did a lot of paperwork. Ah, now we pick it back up with the non-canon animatronics. And that pencil writing is very, very terrible, so I'm going to skip it. And that's also a very terrible sight to see. But FNAB 4.2, that was actually supposed to be a in-between segment between FNAB 4 and Five Nights at Ben's brother location. As I was saying, a majority of this game is mainly filled with nightmares. And I forget why, because it's been so long since I last looked at stuff like this. There's some more. Oh, I think I have a proper explanation for this. Because all of the old animatronics here, starting at Old Ben and ending at Old Golden Jake, are for the bonus nights 8 through 19. Now, the intention for this is because nights 8 through 19, and 20 through 24, and I think, let me see, yeah, 25 through 30, the main intention was that between nights 1 to 7, which is usually the span of nights for most FNAF fan games, the main intention is that between those 7 nights, at any point, you have the opportunity to purchase one of 3 boxes. And I forget where the paperwork is for that. Unfortunately, I do not know where the paperwork was that helped me out with this. But for the most part, it would have initially helped with well, making sure that you, the player, have the opportunity to explore some extra nights. So that is it for this live stream. I am Benjamin Maxwolf, your average YouTuber. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time for a possible extra video for tomorrow. I'll see you then.